Back in 2019, when 12 Minutes was first revealed, I was captivated by the concept. A romantic evening with your wife turns into a nightmare when a police detective breaks into your home, accuses your wife of murder, and beats you to death. I'm not sure what that says about me as a person, the fact that I'm so intrigued by that, but let's just move on past that to the game. Every time you die, you'll have to restart your day over again, from the moment you arrive home to be greeted by your wife, reliving the same 12 minutes over and over again until you find a way out of the time loop. A great concept for sure, but a video game isn't great just based on its concept alone. So, with such an interesting concept, does 12 minutes live up to its potential? And should you spend your time and money playing this game? Let's talk about it. What you'll immediately notice about 12 Minutes is the top-down view of your cozy one-bedroom apartment. The ambiance created in this setting is one that is small and claustrophobic at times, as you can't leave the apartment without your day restarting. And the music cues and the murmuring of your neighbors' conversations that you can hear through your thin walls is a nice touch as well. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this, as noisy neighbors are the worst kind of neighbors. As for the visuals, I really like this top-down view perspective, as I felt like a fly on the wall to the lives of these people. You often hear the phrase, "I wish I could be a fly on the wall" to that conversation, and that's what you get with this game. The art style is very minimalistic, as you can see, and you never really get to see the characters' facial expressions. However, that caused me to focus more on exactly what was being said, which really is the key to this game. The story offers twists and turns at every corner, and as you go through it, you start to unravel the mystery surrounding the murder accusation. This is where the game is at its best, solving the mystery through conversation. Sometimes, these conversations will lead you to get into arguments that will reveal more information, and other times you will get nowhere, getting killed again, and having to restart the day. The goal after every loop is to learn something that you can use in your next loop to drive conversations a different way, or perhaps change the outcome of something to a more positive direction. This could be things as simple as learning where hidden items are, or perhaps doing things in a certain order to achieve a different result, like flicking a broken light switch that will have some interesting effects on who interacts with it next. Now, I won't go into any spoilers here, but overall, I found the story to be pretty captivating and was the main reason why I wanted to keep playing. Here's the thing though. At a certain point in the story, just when I thought things were about to be wrapped up, it takes a turn. And what happens after this turn, I think, is what will divide people most about this game. I personally thought this twist was incredibly gripping, but I could definitely see some people get sick of the game after this point. Which brings me to my biggest complaint about the game, the puzzle solving mechanics. Like I was saying earlier, the game puts you through branching pathways, with each one giving information on how to reach the right outcome. The problem with this, however, is many times you have to do incredibly specific things to get the result that will lead you to the information you need. And unfortunately, it isn't done in a way that feels like a gradual progression. A lot of the game feels like trial and error, and that would be putting it lightly. Sometimes if you don't put a certain item on the table, or close a door before doing something else, you have to restart your run.
Oh god, you're okay.
Hey there.
And the trial and error of figuring out what it is you have to do can feel frustrating and extremely obtuse at times. And I think this is what will stop a lot of people from getting into this game, and most people from finishing it. This issue is highlighted even more in the latter half of the game, where the puzzles get even more obtuse. I was personally having so many difficulties with doing certain tasks in the perfect order to progress my story. And when I wasn't getting anywhere, there was no indication on what I should be doing instead. In fact, it was so unclear that my Twitch chat had to help me and be the one to give me the hints, not the game. Didn't I try to show him that before? But now he'll be receptive. Why couldn't I have just done it the way that I was doing it before, doing this whole perfect day thing? Which only highlights the lack of a hint system in the game even more. Now, you might say to yourself, well, Eric, that's just because you're bad at puzzle games, and yeah, you might be right. Look, I wouldn't say I'm the best at puzzle games, but I would say maybe about average. But that means that a big chunk of the general audience who isn't at least average at puzzle games will not be getting past certain sections of this game, and that's a shame. However, when I was able to solve these puzzles, it felt great. But not because the puzzle was satisfying to complete, but because I was so invested in the story and into the lives of these characters. The conversations feel real and personal, and the voice acting done by the main three cast members of William Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, and James McAvoy do such a great job of engrossing you into exactly what these characters are feeling.
Please, you must be thinking of someone else.
No playing dumb.
You can feel their heartbreak and joy with each line delivered, and it was really well done and definitely one of the better elements of this game. Also, for those wondering if this game is actually 12 minutes long or not, it's substantially longer. I was able to beat the game in about 5 hours, and that seems to be about the average with everyone else that has played it. Though, depending on how quickly you can get through some of the puzzles, it could be longer, which may or may not be a good thing. The last thing I want to mention is the game's multiple endings. There's a point where the game ends, credits roll, and you're done. But if you hit continue, you can start again not longer after where you left off from, and you can change a few things to get another ending and get the credits to roll once more, but this time for real. I'll keep this part as vague as possible, but some might consider this to be a spoiler, so feel free to skip ahead to my conclusion here. But you'll know that you've achieved the correct ending if it somehow involves a book. Just a warning for anyone else. Through all the twists that this game has to offer, and honestly some of them are incredibly weird and don't add up in the moment, the game ultimately by the very end is able to tie it all together. You won't get to see the true ending unless you jump through a lot of hoops, but it's there for people who want that extra challenge. Which felt frustrating while in the moment figuring it out, but pretty awesome once it was unlocked. I think 12 minutes does some really great things, and I love that it really is trying something different. For me, the obtuse puzzles and repetitive trial and error weren't enough to ruin the experience. And the concept of the story, characters, and atmosphere of the game all come together to form a game that I think people will be talking about, and one that I'm still thinking about long after completing it. I'm going to give 12 minutes an 8 out of 10. Like I said earlier, I don't think that a lot of people that play this game will actually end up finishing it because some of the issues that I've stated in my review.
I'm so tired all of a sudden.
But I do feel that my own experience with this game was very positive. And who knows, that might have been because I got the help of my Twitch chat to help give me hints when I was stuck, but if you're really into puzzle games, then I would say to give it a shot. And if you're someone who really likes stories in games but aren't as good at puzzles, then I would still give it a try, but definitely consult a guide for the more obtuse part of it, because I think the story alone is one worth experiencing. That's all I had for my review on 12 minutes, I hope you enjoyed it. Will you be giving this game a shot, and if you've already played it, what did you think? If you want to talk with me about 12 minutes as well as other games, I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday on Twitch at 5 p.m. And I post regularly on TikTok about TV shows, movies, and video games. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I really... What? No. No. What else do I... I did everything right. I did everything right.
What the hell? Oh my god.